Everybody has comments on the tush push, on personnel, etc. And Jerry Jones always finds a way to give us gold. He was asked about the contract negotiations with Micah Parsons, and there was an allusion, at least, to making Micah Parsons the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, which, based on performance on the field, I don't know that anyone would argue that.
Nope.
Okay? Well, the negotiations have been going on between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. But, yeah, the agent, I guess, hasn't been involved. And here's what Jerry Jones had to say about dealing with Micah and his agent.
You should be worrying about your ability to make it work, and you should be worried about what the player does. Does he have good enough health? Does he have enough skill to do what you're paying him the money for? The agent is not a factor here or something to worry about, and I don't know his name. And so my point is that I'm not trying to demean him in any way, but this isn't about an agent. The agent doesn't have one thing to do with what we're doing when we get on a football field against a team. Micah does.
The agent's name is David Mulligetta. To my knowledge, and I don't know him, he's one of the best, meaning personally, one of the best agents in the entire NFL. Has countless players that get the top dollar for what they are trying to get, which is his job. How do I make the most for my client in the best situation that they want to be in and do the most for them? Agent works for a player. Mm-hmm. What was the goal of Jerry Jones's comments here? Why did he do this?
Why did he take a shot at the agent?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think it has anything to do with the Micah Parsons contract negotiations, though. I think there might be some hard feelings around David Mulligetta negotiating Deshaun Watson's contract once upon a time and the fallout from that, and how owners had to contend with players jostling for fully guaranteed contracts, which is not the business the NFL wants to be in. And the Deshaun Watson deal is case in point. So there might be that element to it. I'm not sure why he tried to diminish David Mulligetta, because like you said, he is one of the very best agents in the entire NFL. But I certainly don't think that it was any type of warning sign as far as the Parsons negotiation goes. This ain't going to be incredibly difficult. Mm-hmm. Parsons is going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And a year ago, that would have been around $35.5 million. Now, it's going to be north of $40 million in lieu of the Myles Garrett deal. So and Jamar Chase. So that's what Jerry Jones is looking at. The only question is, when is he going to give Micah Parsons all of this money? And knowing how deliberate Jerry has been with his contract negotiations, I wouldn't hold my breath on that deal.
I'm not holding my breath either, but I really can't understand this tactic from a business or negotiation standpoint. Jerry Jones is once again doing this, let's wait and see how this plays out. Let's wait until the last final second to get this.
A day late and $1 more.
You said it, CC, and boy, is he sticking to it. But he's doing it yet again with another star, this time with Micah Parsons, just like he did it with CeeDee Lamb and just like he did it with Dak Prescott. We know that they're going to have a ton of money committed to a very small fraction of players. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm trying to negotiate to get a deal. We know it's going to be astronomical. We know Micah Parsons is going to get his money. But I'm trying to negotiate to at least make it a little bit more favorable for me as the owner and somebody in the front office. So why would I want to go out there? And even though he says, I'm not trying to be dismissive or demeaning to the agent, why would I go out there and say, I don't even know who he is? Why would I go out there?
Do you think he does know who he is?
Yes.
You think he knows his
if
name?
he doesn't, that's a problem. One of the best players, if not the best player, probably the best player on your football team, is trying to become the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, and you don't know who you're negotiating with on his behalf? And by the way, if I'm the agent and you are publicly saying you don't know who I am, you better believe I'm going to make sure you know who I am after this deal's done.
See, that's where I think the great agents don't operate, what you just said. This guy's a great agent. So what he probably does yesterday is dirt off his shoulder. Doesn't even think about it. Because if he gets Micah Parsons 41, doesn't matter what his name is in his mind. The only person that he needs to know whose name, the names, is the client. In this case, Micah. This guy
But Micah's not in the room negotiating.
Well, he was. Sounds like.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, there's also another party in there that Micah employs on his behalf to help him get the most favorable financial outcome.
I just think the best agents that we've seen in sports, from Rich Paul to David Mulligetta to Drew Rosenhaus, they don't care what people say about them.
You think Scott Boras doesn't care?
Well, I don't.
Yeah, he cares.
Well, I don't know if I can.
That's true.
Okay, let me ask you a question. The best agent, is it the person that gets the client the most money or gets the client the most money in the situation they want to be in?
I would say the latter, not the former.
Because that's not Scott Boras.
That's what I was going to say. Boras Corp is all about getting the top dollar.
Regardless of location.
That's it.
Situation.
He's all about getting the most money, period, point blank.
And I don't believe
And he's not going to let his players settle for anything less.
That's the thing. Because that's about him, not the client.
But in bringing it back to this situation, maybe that's what Jerry is doing by getting in the room with Micah Parsons.
Explain.
Saying that, hey, I understand this guy has a reputation as a great agent, but listen, you want to be here, we want you here. Let's work this deal out between me and you without that extra layer.
Well, but they could agree, as you know better than we do, they could agree on making this up. 5 years, 200.
But it's not.
But all the details.
But that's what I was about to say. It's about how much money is he going to get in year one? How much money is he going to get in the first 2 years? How much money is fully guaranteed? How much money is guaranteed for injury versus skill? Like, there are all of these different things that you have to consider when you're negotiating an extension of this magnitude, because presumably this is Micah Parsons' biggest bite at the apple.
Right.
Yeah.
When you factor in skill level, when you factor in his overall age and durability, this is when he is going to be the most valuable in his NFL career.
So what is your saying on the Cowboys? A day late and a dollar more?
Correct.
Jerry Jones defended waiting to get contracts done yesterday at the owners' meetings.
I don't view it as urgent at all. And, some say, using the basis that the earlier you get something done, the cheaper. Well, the earlier you get something done, a lot of times the more mistakes you make. And you might want to see a few more cards played, not just with that particular negotiation, but with the whole team. And so I know I'm kind of being a little defensive here, but the idea that the only success is getting a contract done at an early time is incorrect. And I'd rather pay more and get it right than I had pay less and screw it up.
And the last part makes sense, but here's the thing. If you're saying you need to see more, what you've seen from the player in this case, Micah Parsons, who was not happy about the disrespect shown to Mulligetta, tweeted about it yesterday saying he's going to be involved in that. What you've seen from the player is Hall of Fame caliber production, in addition to off-field commentary, right? Let's leave it off-field commentary, good or bad. There's commentary, right? You know the player. Hall of Fame production, off-field commentary. Combined with the level of success that would not meet the standards of the early 90s Dallas Cowboys, you need to see more. Waiting to pay him means less opportunities to pay everybody else, which theoretically brings the level of play down and only consistently brings the individual play up, which doesn't do anything for you. So what are you waiting to see? That's where I go back to your point, CC, 2 months ago of you should trade him.
Yeah.
Not that he's not good, not that he won't help winning, but if you're going to wait to see more and he's done this, you're going to hurt 50 other spots on the roster by doing it this way.
Yeah, also, if you're not sold on him by now, what are we doing?
And by the way, it's small.
That's the question.
I also
that's
understand
the big takeaway.
What are we waiting for?
But I also
why are
understand
you
not
the
being
one
sold
making
on
the
him.
evaluations? If you need to see anything else from Micah Parsons, why are you the one making the evaluations?
Yeah.
But see, Smalls, when we start talking about that aspect of this conversation, it makes me think that the concerns that the Cowboys have are not what Micah is doing on the field, but it's what he's doing behind the scenes. When he's talking about waiting, maybe he wants to see more maturation from Micah Parsons. Maybe he wants to see the sports character improve as it pertains to him relating to his teammates.
Okay.
Saying things that aren't problematic for the organization, not starting fires that then other people have to answer for and try to put out. Maybe that's what he wants to see. Micah Parsons assert himself as more of a leader for his football team.
Yeah.
Because when you give a guy that kind of money, I'm not just paying for production. I'm paying for you to be a good leader in my locker room. I'm paying for you to be a good face in the community. I'm paying for all of those things, presumably. Maybe that's the element that Jerry Jones is waiting to see, and maybe that's why this particular negotiation, may be a little bit interesting in terms of how various people within the Cowboys organization view it.
I hear you. 2 quick thoughts on that. One, if this was the case and it was an isolated incident, I could go there, but we just saw the same wait-and-see approach with CD and with Dak. So if you're at this stage with all of your star players where you're waiting and seeing about what they could be or the maturation process of those three guys, and at this stage of the negotiating process and at this stage of their Dallas Cowboys career, you don't know already.
But he didn't say that about those other two guys.
But
though.
he waited.
He waited,
He
but he
waited.
didn't. But he didn't say this. Like maybe you ought to wait and see a little bit more. He didn't
But his
say
actions told me that.
Yeah, he didn't say that about CeeDee Lamb. He didn't say that about Dak Prescott. He did say that about Micah Parsons.
Well, my other thought there is, okay, so Micah Parsons has a podcast. He's very transparent in his thoughts, and it makes headlines. Is that not what you do too? Isn't that what you do to enhance the visibility and relevancy of your brand? So if this is the way you operate and move through the business world, why are you going to fault him for doing the exact
Because I'm a
same thing?
billionaire and he's not. Because I'm signing a check, he don't. Like that. Like if I'm keeping it a buck, the rules are going to be different for Jerry Jones. He's the owner of the team. Fair or
culture
unfair,
starts from the top down.
whether you like it or not. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dispute that. But in Jerry Jones's minds, why should it be different for my players versus me? Easy. My players ain't me. I own the team. I bought it. I turned it from a $150 million investment to a $10 billion business.
It's like when the parent can eat ice cream for dinner, but the kid can't.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Come on, don't do that when in the window my kids watch.
I'm sorry.
Now, come on now. What's the matter with
Say
you?
the rules are different sometimes.
Good. Tell my kids that. Is it negotiable?
VYL Sosif. I'm Jerry Jones. I trade 2-2s for Christian McCaffrey. Draft T-Mac and Siobhan Ravel. Timing makes sense. I don't think the Christian McCaffrey trade is very, very realistic. Really at all, I don't think it's very realistic. A lot of T-Mac interest in every single live show we've done for like a month straight now. So would you draft Tataroa McMillan? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comment section of today's show.